Welcome to Echo Trade. It's Jeff Roth, and today we're here with Chris Walker from Walker Capital Advisors, and we're going to talk about Chris and his firm. And Chris, appreciate you being here. Thanks for taking some time.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Good to chat.
So, quick background on Chris. Chris is a true badass. He is a West Point grad, U.S. Army captain, was awarded the Bronze Star Medal in the Second Iraq War. So, first off, again, thanks again for your service. I can't say enough about how badass you are. As opposed to just being a nice guy in the conversations we've had, you're also, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of the table from you.
That's very kind. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. It was an honor.
So appreciate it. Well, so also Chris is a CFA charter holder. He's a background in corporate finance, private equity, M&A, and started Walker Capital Advisors. Closing on 10 years ago. So Chris, first off, kind of give me a little background on yourself, kind of pre Walker Capital Advisors. What was your history looking like there?
Sure. I am originally from the East Tennessee area. That's home. My family's there. I attended West Point, graduated in 2001, which led to all of the Army experience there. I studied engineering, so didn't necessarily have my eye on finance that young. Mm-hmm. When I got out of the military, finance just sort of came calling, and that's where I ended up and just found a home. Numbers made sense. There's sort of cousins with engineering in that way, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. It became really clear to me that there was a very specific thing I wanted to do, which somewhat relates to something that my family did many years ago. My dad became just volunteering in our community, a financial coach for people, certainly not drawing a fee, but he taught a program written by Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University.
Yeah.
My folks are not wealthy. On paper, they should not be wealthy people, but they were very disciplined in their approach, and it has made all the difference in our family. And so I wanted to do something like that for people, but with my own sort of spin on it. And because I had the background that I have, having earned an MBA and gone through the CFA program, it made all the sense in the world to me to start an RIA with a focus on helping people reach some financial goals. And that could be helping people start out similarly to what my dad did, whether that's just some basic planning and addressing maybe consumer debt, or even wealth planning and helping people think about how to minimize their tax burden, how to reach goals beyond just saving for retirement, but actually building wealth and making their life better. That's the idea behind Walker Capital.
Got it. Yeah, that's fantastic. And you mentioned, Dave Ramsey, how your parents, kind of taught some Ramsey inspired, kind of coaching, and you're associated with Dave Ramsey now, right? You're part of his advisor program.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a SmartVestor Pro with Dave Ramsey in the Northeast. Ramsey's not as popular here as he is back home, so the number of folks I get to connect with is large because I'm in New York City, but it's maybe not quite as sort of ubiquitous, I guess, as it is back home.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I don't necessarily coach people to do exactly the same things that Ramsey teaches. I try to be a little bit lenient there. I recognize that we've got to sort of allow for behavior and allow for what makes people comfortable. So there's definitely a behavioral finance aspect to how I approach clients. Having said that, if you want to be rigid about it, I watched my parents change our family's trajectory by being very disciplined in the same way that Ramsey teaches. So I have a heart for folks who want to take that approach as well.
No, I appreciate it. And we have, some other Ramsey advisors in the platform as well. And they kind of along the same lines, hey, we appreciate and we follow a lot of what Ramsey says, but, we're our own people. And then also our clients, they have their own certain different circumstances. So I definitely hear where you're coming from. So talk a little bit more about kind of how you're helping clients. You touched on this a little bit, but what kind of services are you offering to your existing clients, through the managed capacity, which is obviously a little bit different than what we're doing within Echo Trade?
Yeah, that's right. So it's not an atypical advisory relationship, right? We're going to get our arms around what someone's goals are and certainly what their current situation is. And I'm going to help them come up with a plan for how to achieve their goals. And that could be something like, cash flow planning or even like budgeting if we need to go that granular. But beyond that, it's going to be finding the right investments, certainly the right allocation, the right location, of course, using the accounts that can be made available to people that are the most advantageous for them to reach their goals. When we get beyond just the basic sort of planning for retirement and planning to put kids into college, we start talking about building wealth. That opens up a lot of doors. We can do a lot of different things for people. So that's also available to my clients as well. I have loved every second of the past now 7 going on 8 years of helping people reach those goals. I wish I'd done it sooner, to be honest.
Well, that's a true testament to that, the fact that you love what you do. So talk about then, on the investment side, what your process looks like, because that's what we're talking about within Echo Trade on being able to offer wider audience access to your expertise and the investment portfolios. So what's your kind of, philosophy, and what's your investment process look like?
Yeah, most of the folks that I speak with are probably not in a position to take on a lot of risk. And so I don't push them toward active management. We go find the products that are already available in the market using mutual fund and ETF investments.
Yeah.
To construct a portfolio for them that will allow them to reach their goals. I do deviate a bit from what maybe some advisors will offer, or what sort of typical advice might be, in that we try to be really aggressive with people. And so I work well with folks who are, even if they're not in a position maybe financially to take on risk, they have an appetite for risk.
Yeah.
And so they want to know, what is the thing that I can invest in that, I can stomach maybe some volatility in the short term, knowing that the return is there in the long term. That lends itself toward things like small and mid cap investments, developed and emerging market investments. So there are tons of products there that are available. I am a big fan of Vanguard funds. So a lot of what I steer people toward would be a Vanguard or a similar name that's sort of ubiquitous in the industry here. Beyond that process, I can do some more active management for folks who are in a position to take on that kind of risk. And I do have a handful of folks who fit that criteria. And it's really about tailoring the situation to their needs, which I think, any advisor worth their salt should be able to do. And I should be no different there.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that, how, what we have in the portfolio right now is the aggressive growth ETF blend portfolio that you're offering, which is kind of a core portfolio with kind of a longer term, time horizon with a little more aggressive tilt to it. But also, like you said, you're kind of trying to manage that risk. But we're talking about putting some other portfolios in the platform that might be a little more active.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit of my background coming from the M&A world. I believe I have an eye for some small cap investments. So I have an idea that still in the incubation process here for a small cap growth oriented fund that I'd like to get onto the platform here in the not too distant future. Like I said, still in the incubation period, so we have a lot of work to do there, but the early returns and the back test is really promising. So I'm optimistic.
No, that's great. More variety for the Echo Trade investors to get access to expertise from your side of the table, so they don't have to think about it. They can go on the rest of their lives. So appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for taking the time, and thanks for partnering up with Echo Trade.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to chat. Take care.